Well, yeah, if you can get Maurice Hurst looking like, and he's tired out as a defensive tackle, looking like he sees a free cake at Golden Corral. Oh yeah, yeah, he's smiling. Man, I saw that poor defensive line against Tennessee on Sunday after Derrick Henry broke one for about 20, 25 yards. All I saw was huffing, puffing. Looked like I just ran for a 5 mile run. Holy moly.
I think sometimes as a spectator we get sucked into this thinking that these guys are able to give it 100%
No,
on every
not
single play.
350-pound lineman.
Yeah, that's just not the way it is. I mean,
Do people not remember Vince Wilfork?
yeah, you got to remember these are human beings that require oxygen. They're moving very fast. They're pushing
Hey,
each
Raji?
other. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not
You,
uncommon,
you
to
love
see
the
a Pro
fatties.
Bowl
I love
player.
some fatty players. Don't
Even
worry about that.
even a guy like Fletcher Cox gives pancakes sometimes. It just happens.
That's a rare unicorn occurrence, though, to see him get pancaked. And for one, I'm sorry, I watched him throw Will Hernandez on his ass like a child last night.
Fletcher, I apologize. I was being a little over humble there. I've personally never seen you get pancaked, and
I've seen it maybe twice, and it's
I'll,
been on a rare occurrence, and that's it.
I'll never bring it up again.
How dare you? The Fletch is angry.
Jay, you want to take a break, or you feel like diving into the waiver wire?
Are you alive?
I can never tell with this guy.
I know. It just shows up and goes, oh, there he is.
Oh, we got the
He's
word
muted.
from up top. Houston called in, says go ahead.
We have left off.
Well, I guess we'll kick it off. This waiver wire edition, moving into the second week of playoffs, guys. The ever pivotal, going to the bucket, seeing what's available, hitting the clearance racks. What blouse, what dress.
I got the first one. Ooh.
Please, what is it? Who is it?
Tom Brady, because he's got all the calls, baby.
It's funny. Tom Brady, I don't think has had what you would call a spectacular game all season long.
6-touchdown game, folks. Take it. He's got every single audible you need.
It's hard to find him on the waiver wire, man. To be honest, I think he still carries enough. It's just like OBJ.
I'm
like,
staring
no matter
at
how
our
bad
league right now, and he's on the waiver wire.
Okay, so guys, if you're out there in our particular league, by all means, go pick up Tom Brady.
At him.
Well, what's it say for percentage owned right next to him while you're there?
Oh, God. It doesn't say
This
next.
Is good stuff, live on air.
It doesn't say next to him.
Well, while he's gathering that, I do want to bring up Brian Tannehill.
Oh, 93.7 roster.
Yeah, so we happen to be one of those leagues where that you don't. We're in that 7%.
But he's 19% projected to get 9.7 points and only 9% to get 20.7 against Cincy. I think Cincy's going to change up their calls, folks. Never mind on that.
Well, a player much more likely to be out there on the waiver wires, even though he's been super hot for the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill, as Dee just mentioned, is at home versus Houston this week. A great pickup. A.J. Brown is coming on strong. A real top option for this team. He's like a freight train out there. Once he gets the ball in his hands, these DBs can't bring him down. Another name you got to bring up. Since Tannehill just torched that Oakland team, you might as well bring up the stash and Gardner Minshew, guys. He's going to be without DJ Chark, unfortunately. But he's still got D.D. Westbrook. Still got Chris Conley, who can be explosive at times. And Oakland's defense, they're like a turnstile. So look out for Minshew if he's on your waiver wire. I don't know. I certainly would rather play Tannehill over him, but I'm going to give you some more names, D, and you tell me if you'd rather play Minshew or these guys.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather play Gardner Minshew at home against Oakland or Jimmy G at home against Atlanta?
Ooh. I'm going to go Jimmy G because Marcus Trufant is out this week.
Okay, let's say Daniel Jones misses next week. Gardner Minshew or Eli Manning versus Miami?
Minshew.
And Gardner Minshew or Baker Mayfield at Arizona?
Mayfield.
All right. So I guess we'll push Minshew down the list. We'll go Tannehill, Mayfield, and Minshew. Actually, Tannehill, Jimmy G. You'd rather play Jimmy G over Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving into running backs on the waiver wire, guys. If Josh Jacobs misses next week as well, Dwayne Washington is an excellent pickup at Jacksonville. They're going to need
good.
him. He did look good. Going back to his college days, he can catch the ball. He's shifty. Richard's okay, but I think Washington's the type of guy that is explosive enough to provide you with the plays you need to beat a team like
Richard's a scat back. We know that he's nothing. He's not going to be a hammer.
Well, true. I think Washington is also viewed as a scat back, but he's a little more explosive, got a little more power in those legs. Speaking of power in the legs, how about Patrick Laird for the Miami Dolphins? I know it makes you want to puke, but he actually, had a decent game this past week and against the Giants. Might be able to get something done.
Jets?
Yeah.
No.
I know.
The one strength of that Giants team is the run defense.
Well, it's tough, okay? Obviously, I'd rather have Washington over Laird. But would you rather... How do you pronounce that? Laird or Laird? It's just Laird, right?
Yeah, it's Laird. You're trying to church it up.
I'm trying to give it the Joe Dirte.
Don't church it up, Dirt.
Okay, so Laird or Adrian Peterson versus Philly? I know.
Laird is facing a Giants run defense that has been pretty stout. It's just like Tampa Bay. They have a horrible secondary. They have good up front, especially after getting Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence are a nasty combo in line defensive linemen. Also, Adrian Peterson, it looks like he's running for a new interview for a new team coming up. He's running hard against Green Bay. He was making the cutbacks. He was making those power moves. Adrian Peterson looked good, folks. I'd play him.
Yeah, I don't think you need to get too cute there. I mean, obviously, if both of those guys are on the wire, Laird may catch a few more passes, but Peterson is by far the more talented running back. So
Geis is out, folks, too, mind you. He's out for the season.
It's going to be all Peterson. Obviously, Thompson's going to handle third down work, but Peterson's going to get, you would assume 15 to 20 carries in this game.
Oh, day?
Moving into the wide receivers, pains me to say, but it's not playing the Eagles this week. So go ahead and pick up Darius Slayton, guys, at home against Miami.
Bombs from Eli Manning, folks.
Maybe Shepard and Golden Tate have a better week this week, but Darius Slayton is explosive and clearly has a connection with Eli. So go ahead and and Slayton's had good games with Daniel Jones as well. So if he's on your wire still, which he is available in most leagues, versus Miami, I think he can have a big week. A.J. Brown can't sing enough praises. I mean, D called me last week while I was in traffic. I don't pick up the phone very often, but whenever D calls me these days, I feel too guilty not to pick up because he gives me so much
the shit out of him, folks.
Because you just, it's like every day could be your dying day. And God forbid I don't pick up the phone and I show up at your funeral like, if only. But
I'd be the guy to fake my own funeral and be like, I feel bad now.
Yeah, you would call me from the bushes. Anyways.
Hey, how's it looking in there? Is the guy dead?
A.J. Brown is surprisingly enough available in plenty of leagues. You got to pick him up versus Houston this week. In that same game, in that same game, I love D.D. Westbrook. DJ Chark is out. Westbrook is in. I mean, Conley may have himself a few explosive plays, but Westbrook does. I think Westbrook is losing his luster because he's in a slot possession type of role these days. Don't forget, this guy was explosive at Oklahoma, okay? Taking screens to the house on the regular. And when he gets enough opportunity, Westbrook can win you a week. I mean, this is the type of game versus Oakland where I'm coming out. That's going to be Didi, okay?
I got one.
Hit me.
Marcus Johnson for Indy.
I was just about to bring up Zach Pascal, so go ahead and argue Marcus Johnson for me.
Marcus Johnson is the big play guy. We all know Brissett has a big arm. Even when injured knee, he has a big arm. And the Saints defense, as good as it's been up front on the front seven, Even with Lattimore in there last week, they gave up 46 points, folks. I know Debo Samuel, Emmanuel Sanders is a big difference than Pascal and Marcus Johnson, but Marcus Johnson took 3 catches for 105 yards.
Yeah, Marcus Johnson certainly had himself a
Who the
good
fook
day.
is that guy?
Exactly. Well, I wasn't going to bring him up only because I thought these other names were better.
I bring up the small name guys and they turn to gold. I'm just saying.
So now everyone, by all means, go to the waiver wire, put all of your fab money that you have on Marcus Johnson because he's going to have 2 touchdowns, 200 yards this week because they brought up his name. But you certainly rather have Pascal if he's out there, correct?
Yeah, obviously he's going to be the main target. He's going to be that net for Brissett because I mean Jack Doyle's there, but Doyle has dropped a couple passes the past couple weeks, and Pascal is going to be there without TYN. Doesn't look like he's going to play this week, but Marcus Johnson's that big play guy. He's able to take the top off of defense.
So here's a name: Marcus Johnson at New Orleans, or now without Mike Evans, Brashad Perryman at Detroit.
Oh, Brashad Perryman at Detroit.
Okay.
He's a more polished receiver. He has been in sync with Winston these past couple games. I do not see a drop off there, especially with him getting wide receiver 2 looks, because all the CB1s are going to slide over to Godwin.
Yeah, I like Perryman a lot, which I haven't said in a while. But this week without Evans at Detroit, the way Jameis Winston just, first in passing touchdowns, first in passing yards, and first in interceptions. Okay, this guy will chuck it up and play 500 with the best of them. And Brashad Perriman's going to be on the receiving end of a few touchdowns this week.
Yep.
So I love him as a pickup. Also, got to bring up, listen, Greg Ward almost had a touchdown this week. Okay.
Almost.
New York Giants are not a good secondary, even with Janoris Jenkins back there. If they're still missing Jabril Peppers, I think that guys like Albert Wilson and, yes, even Allen Hurns for the Miami Dolphins, if Devontae Parker misses this week, it sounds gross, and it certainly is. But if you're in a bind and if you're in a bind and you're in a deep, all the way down to the abyss type of league, these two for the Dolphins might be able to get it done for you. Obviously more of a DFS play, right? I mean, but just taking a shot. And then finally, tight end. David Njoku didn't really have much of a day in his first week back for Cincinnati, but at Arizona, it's basically a cheat code. Arizona says, good night. Oh, we've got a... Yes, sir?
Okay, just want to be polite. Also, I have another one. Russell Gage.
Okay, yeah.
For Mr. Atlanta. I know they're facing San Fran, but he has been Mr. Safety Net for Matt Ryan whenever Calvin Ridley goes out. And it looks like he might be out for a little bit.
So, Gage or Perryman?
Because Perryman drops passes. That's my problem. He's had that problem since he's been in the league. He drops passes left and right. I'm going Gage. I've seen him be there for Ryan way too much, even in big games. Ooh, he's 1 second in this.
No, I got a little bit of it's not really fantasy, but it's football breaking news. It just came across my ticker. Okay, so I wanted to announce that.
What's up?
Breaking news. What happened?
This year's college football Hall of Fame class has been announced. This year it will be Vince Young, Patrick Willis, Troy Polamalu, Torrey Holt, and Joe Thomas headline the 2019 class.
I agree with everybody on there except Vince Young.
Except for who?
Vince Young.
The College Football Hall of Fame. He pulled off the biggest upset in freaking national championship history.
Against to me, you got to write your own name on paper and get your IQ up there. But
Dude, come on, man.